Hi everyone. Welcome to Q&A with John Khoury, and today we will be talking about Lectio Divina. Hi John, in the course of Solid Foundation, you teach that Lectio Divina is one of the best ways to consistently grow in the spiritual life. Could you please tell us whether Lectio Divina is important?
Hi, Camila. Thank you for having me, and hi, everybody. Yes, Lectio Divina. Lectio Divina is very important for our Christian life because Lectio Divina is as we said, it means the moment we take, the time we take in order to listen to the Word of God, Jesus' Word, put into practice so it becomes life in us. The importance of this entire operation is fundamental. It's like eating. Would you question, for instance, eating? Nobody would question it. If you go to a doctor and you are not eating and you're ill, the doctor first, if he or she discovers that you're not eating, the first reaction would be what? Well, you need to eat, because through eating you receive all your vitamins, all the nutrients, and then you can grow, you can act, the muscles, the breathing, everything, all the body can work. That's exactly the same thing for Lectio Divina. Lectio Divina is the sacred moment where Jesus is uttering his sacred words that are spirit and life. We receive these words, they enter in us, they start to mean something to us. So they shed light on our mind. They are knocking at the door of our will and say, would you like to do it? Would you like to receive me? Would you like to accept me and work with that light, along the line of that light? You see, so it's a bit of a difficulty, because I have to overcome my habits, the other inclinations, and then this light that is coming. But in the same time, I am very attracted by this light. I'm very attracted by what Jesus is saying to me. It comes with power and strength. So you see, all this operation will then enable the will to do things. It will enable me to do things that I wasn't doing before. So the mind is transformed by the light of God, by the light of the Word of God. The will is transformed as well. They are getting closer, more united. There is more harmony between what I think and what I do. While in general, the human being, our experience as human beings, shows us that we know very well what we are supposed to do, but when it comes to practicing it or doing it, often we acknowledge our weakness and the distance between what we know and what we do. So in this sense, nobody would question eating, nourishing ourselves, having vitamins, nutrients, you see. So is Lectio Divina, is the Word of God, let us put your question in a different way. Is the Word of God important for us on a daily basis? The answer is yes, because what happens is that if I do not practice Lectio Divina, which is opening the scriptures, being in the presence of the risen Lord and saying, Jesus, talk to me, tell me, what do you want from me? Give me that food for my mind and my will. So imagine we don't do that. What will happen? With unconsciously, we will be eating other things. We will be eating from the words we hear here and there from our friends. We will be adhering to thoughts that are in the world, people, the news, the magazines, talks here and there, friends, they say things. But sometimes these words that we receive all the time are not necessarily carrying the light of God, but we are feeding ourselves from them. And we do that unconsciously because we hate the emptiness. The human being hates emptiness. So what happens is that if I don't eat from God directly, I will still try to eat from other sources. And this is an aspect, you see. So is Lectio Divina important? It's not only important. I wouldn't use the word important. I think I would prefer the word vital. Vital. Is the Lectio Divina vital? Yes, of course, because this is the way to be nourished and to be transformed. Okay, so this is what I would say instinctively.
Thanks. You say that it's the Word of God that's nourishing me in Lectio Divina, and I'm wondering, how do I tell the difference whether it's my own thoughts and my own interpretation of what I'm reading in the reading, let's say the reading of the day, or whether what I'm listening or thinking is actually coming from God? How do I know the difference?
Well, thank you for your question. Of course, this way we are entering in the Lectio Divina in itself, the process of Lectio Divina. Lectio Divina is an art, it's a sacred art. We are not born knowing how to practice, how to pray, and how to practice Lectio Divina. We learn it, we learn it. It's very important to become aware of that, that there is a humility that we need to have in order to receive from other people who had practiced it before us, so they can show us how to do it. Now, your precise question, how can I discern? Well, that's I think it brings us to the practice itself of Lectio Divina. How do we practice Lectio Divina? And then from that, we can discover if the process is working properly, yes or not. Okay, so I prefer, if you don't mind, to dedicate more time to your question, especially after the process itself, after explaining the process itself of Lectio Divina.
Okay, so what you're saying is, yes, it is absolutely important because we are actually called to take in and be transformed by the Word of God. How we're going to discern, that's another topic, a much more in-depth topic. And I just want a quick question is Lectio Divina for everyone?
That's an important question. It is, this question is very close to your first question. How what is the importance of Lectio Divina? Because if you see that eating is important for everybody, you will not pick and choose and say, oh, these people I will feed them and these other people I won't feed them. But there is another question that comes linked to these two questions, which is, but how come we don't hear more of Lectio Divina? How come, I don't know, in the parishes or elsewhere, they are not insisting that much on Lectio Divina? Well, first, they are insisting, but it is obvious that today, having a Bible, knowing to read, all these makes Lectio Divina, I would say today, mandatory. It would be almost a sin having a Bible, knowing how to read and not opening the Bible. I mean, for a Christian, for a Catholic, not doing that. I'm talking today. I'm not talking like 50 or 60 years ago, where we didn't have probably full access to Bibles. We don't have well, we don't have the easiness to read like we have today. Okay, so we can talk further if you want next time, or extend more on this point.
Thanks, John. That was awesome. Thanks everyone for watching today's Q&A with John Khoury.